guys, welcome to Abby B Vlog. Our today's episode is about science, technology, and society. So the main topic for today is about the introduction of STS. By the way, kung bago ka lang sa aking YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe and have the bell so that you will be notified once a new video is uploaded. Bago tayo magsimula, be sure meron kayong pen and paper so that you can have your jot down notes. Or else, you can also have the download. If you like it, you can download our video. That's free. Okay? So let's start with the definition of science, technology, and society. It is a broad topic that encompasses the interactions among these three fields of discipline. Science is a systematic and organized body of knowledge that explains or predicts nature and the universe. Technology is the collection of methods, techniques, and processes used in the production of goods or services or the accomplishment of objectives such as scientific investigation or any other consumer demands. Science may derive technological development by generating demand for new instruments to address scientific questions or issues, or by illustrating technical possibilities previously unconsidered. Technology may derive scientific investigation by creating demand for technology improvements that can only produce through scientific research and investigation, and by raising questions about underlying principles that a new technology relies on. In other words, technology is a child or the product of science, and science is the parent or the cause of the technology. Technology uses scientific findings in achieving technological achievements and improvement. There are different effects of science technology to the society. Number one, improve as science and technology result to industrialization, and thus converting a simple society to a more complex one. Number two, people's life and lifestyle change as a result of improvement of science and technology. Number three, urbanization results when science and technology improve because people usually migrate to a place where their basic needs met. And number four, people have stronger desire for material goods when science and technology improve in the place. More discoveries. Number five, more discoveries and inventions that benefit the people due to the improvement of science and technology. So these are the effect of science and technology to the society. Let's go over to the historical development of science and technology in the world. The origin of man's life or human life, origin of the human life was originally found out in 2 billion years ago or 2 million years ago. In human artifacts, it was been found out in 2.3 million years ago. Meaning, the origin of human life is on 2 million years ago. Then, the human artifacts was found 2.3 million years ago. The human artifact is roughly shaped stone used for chopping and scrapping, no? So that was found in Eastern Africa. Then during the 400 BC, that was the Mesopotamian culture. So 400 BC is started by the Mesopotamian culture. Then Mesopotamian culture found or have or very popular in the disease. They found that they just checking on the disease symptoms. Okay, so what are the symptoms? So they found some strategy on determining the symptoms during the time of Mesopotamia. So chemical substances was found also during the time. Astronomical observation was done also during the Mesopotamian culture. So it was the start of observing astronomical event. Okay, so they checked the astronomical event during Mesopotamia. Okay, during this period, in the Nile Valley, so it was found in Egypt, there was evidence regarding on the treatment of wounds, okay, and diseases. So the cure of some diseases and wounds was originally found during the period of Mesopotamia. Okay, so Mesopotamian culture have a big role in the field of medicine. So they started the field of medicine in the time of Mesopotamia. So even some mathematical calculation currently used in geometry and trigonometry, such as the angles, triangles, volume of a portion of a pyramid have been found around 1,000 years. Okay, so they calculated it. In fact, they have the Fibonacci sequence. So they found it out during the time. And then from 300 to 400 BC, there was a rise of the rise in philosophers who wrote topics on psychology, biology, and some other subjects. Okay, there was Euclid, considered the father of geometry. So Euclid was the father of modern geometry. So si Euclid yon. Si Euclid ang father of modern geometry. Archimedes was the founder of engineering mechanics, who calculated the value of pi, okay, which is being used today, no? So we use the value of pi, which is 3.14, 15, 16, and so on and so forth. He also invented the first water pump. Okay, Archimedes also invented the water pump. The first water pump, okay? Yung kauna-unahang water pump. In other words, people during the ancient time have developed and utilized tools, machines, and techniques without fully understanding how or why they work or comprehending their physical and chemical composition. Okay, so that was during the ancient time. Okay, so the early middle period, which began after the fall of Western Roman Empire in 476 AD. Again, 476 AD, the coming of the Islam in the 7th century, and the rise of Charlemagne in 8th century. So the start of Islamic religion was on 7th century. Okay? So intellectual, scientific, and technological activities were mainly concentrated on Christian faith. Okay? So that's why there is a big issue during the time on Christianity. Okay? So medicine and botanical knowledge were used for churches' duty to help and tend the sick. Okay? Scientific issues were hardly even discussed in depth by the church and the people because during that time naghahari yung Christianity. Okay? So, if you want to be a scientist, you must be Christian. Okay? Because in fact, during the time we have Newton's Newton, Galileo and Aristotle's issue. So Aristotle is a Christian, and then Galileo is not a Christian, no? So the idea of Aristotle was approved immediately because he is a Christian, while Galileo, he need to prove several things. He did several experiments to prove that his idea is correct. Maybe because he is not a Christian, okay, during the time. Okay, that was the experiment on free fall. Okay, so because Aristotle stated that heavy and light object will fall to the ground at the same time, while Galileo said Aristotle said heavy object. So the heavy object will fall to the ground first as compared to the light object, while Galileo said both of it will fall to the ground at the same time, whether it is heavy or light object. Okay, but of course, he did not get the credit at that time. Even he went up to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, so he haven't get the authority to have that law. Then he used several experiments. Okay. One possible reason also was the medieval intellectuals simply had no time for occupation like science. Okay? So, wala kasing trabaho. There's no work for science during the time. Okay? Another reason was that clerics and intellectual thinkers did not have access to the vast amount of scientific literature written in Greek before and during the Roman Empire. So everything was written in Greek, okay, during the ancient time. So because Greek was the language in the middle period, but was lost later, no? Thereafter, Latin prevailed in Western Christianity, but only few books translated into Latin contain scientific subject matter, no? So there is a limited scientific literature. Okay? In fact, there are lots of books in Greek and then translated to Latin. Okay? Latin subject. Then, some philosophers arrived during the time. So, Plato's work provided suitable clues for the view of the natural world in the light of Christianity, because Plato is also a Christian. Okay? So Aristotle is also a Christian. He published his book, Physics, who thinks of the consideration of the world as being based in the nature only. So because Aristotle used natural science, he used also common sense. More often, Aristotle used common sense to explain science during his period. No? Okay, that was 384 to 322. 322. Okay. Other eminent medieval intellectuals emerged, such as Albertus Magnus, who stated that natural way are the result of natural causes. A natural way is caused by or result by the natural causes. And then we have Roger Bacon, who thought that science must be based on empirical method. Okay? So in the later part of the Middle Age, invention and discoveries were made. Among these, on the inventions of gunpowder and firearms that made mathematical knowledge indispensable. So, during the time, nagkaroon na ng calculations on science, no? Then, there is also geometry and statistics that enable architects construct Gothic cathedral. Okay, Gothic cathedral is also a very popular cathedral. And this Gothic cathedral was also they use geometric shapes. Okay? So gumamit sila dito ng golden ratio. Okay? So they use golden ratio in Gothic cathedral. Okay? So hindi lang siya basta-basta ginawa or in architect. So that is the Gothic cathedral. Okay? So new plumbing device. So nagkaroon na ng pagbabago. So una, meron tayong isang first plumbing device, then ngayon binago siya. Then there's a new machine for lifting heavy loads. So yung mga lifting na mga loads, okay, from one place to another. Then there's a new method of finding and extracting metal. Okay, knowledge of human anatomy. So nagkaroon na tayo ng mga iba't ibang klase ng discovery about anatomy, no? So geocentric definition of the universe. So dati kasi they found out they think that the earth is the center of the universe. But when Nicholas Copernicus came, so the sun is the center of the universe. Okay? And then there's an introduction of Gregorian calendar. Okay? During the type of Pope Gregory XII in 1852. Okay? So, nagkaroon na tayo ng Gregorian calendar. So, the early modern period began in 16th and 17th century. Modern science began to develop in the period. Science revolution started in Europe and spread later in the other part of the globe. So, from the 18th century through late 20th century, science and technology emphasized more on physical and biological sciences. So we have the physical and biological sciences in 18th century to 20th century. So scientific knowledge was presented in progressive narrative in which theories replaced false belief. So nagkakaroon ng mga pagbabago sa 18th to 20th century. Kasi katulad niyan, sabi ni Dalton, according to Dalton, atom is indivisible particles. But this time, during our period, in the 21st century, the atom is divided into two na. And we call it as quarks. Okay? So today, there are many scientific and technological advancement to enhance our daily activities, whether it is as simple as iPad, a computer game, a video game, okay, and another digital gadgets from entertainment and information purposes, or as vital as an artificial heart of human survival. So, meron na tayo nun na artificial pumping. Okay? So, meron ng heart. Okay? Artificial heart pumping. Yung pang-pump lang na di battery. No? So, pero meron ding ginagawa ngayon na they use artificial heart, the heart from pig to the heart of people. Okay? So, they doing it to test, for the testing. I don't know what happened to the person who have the surgical transplant of heart from the pig, no, kung buhay pa siya, if he's still alive, no. It is science and technology that revolutionize society into cyberspace contemporary society. So, ibig sabihin, science and technology ang nakakapagpabago ng ating society. That's why we are now more on cyberspace. Until now, in fact, we are now in cyberspace because you're watching me now, diba? So, that's very important that there is a cyberspace because during this pandemic, we cannot continue our studying science and technology without this. Let's be thankful that we have this lightweight communication. Okay? So, the next topic will be the historical development of science technology in the Philippines. So, I hope I see you on the next episode of our discussion in STS.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and share our video. Thank you. Bye-bye.